worst idea of all time. It's the worst idea of all time. It's the worst idea of all time. Season 2.
Hello and welcome to the worst idea of all time with me, Tim Bat.
That is correct.
This is episode number 33, I'm pretty sure, and it's watch number 32 because now we're out of sync.
That's right. We've torn up the rule book. Hey, take that rule book that you'd been keeping under your bed, tear it up. It's valueless now. There's no. I know there might be value in it.
It could be a pretty good doorstop. Hey, you might also notice, and of course you have, because my God, even I can hear it. It's very echoey in this room.
We are
So
recording
echoey.
live from a cave off the east coast of the North Island of New Zealand this week. We have hidden out from loved ones and enemies. We are afraid for our very lives.
There's a lot going on here. A lot of sea creatures making plans, making gangs.
A lot of
making,
anemones.
Alliances, political alliances, getting themselves together. You know what's happened? The sea urchins have struck a deal with the sea snails.
It's very funny. It's like watching a marine life version of Survivor, only there are no cameras. So it's not even for the
God.
entertainment of the masses. Oh, no. The cave is crumbling around us. There are rocks falling left, right, and center.
How's this going to work? This
tell
recording
you that
operation we've got is very precarious.
The real situation is we're
want
back
to
in New Zealand. We're
Yeah.
in Tim's new house.
My new flat.
And he's bought these sort of arms like they have in the proper podcasting studios, but he
broken one.
He done did got them on the cheap, and one of them is just literally falling apart before our very eyes.
I broke it so good, but we're not going to let that stop us.
You've got so many moving parts over there.
Yeah, it's a lot of points of articulation.
Anyway,
Oh God.
If you're not familiar with the podcast, it doesn't usually involve us describing the varying different levels of technical difficulties we are running into right out of the gates. It usually involves two men deriding one another and the film that they have watched for the multipleth time of whatever. So we have just watched Sex and the City 2, the 2010 sequel to Sex and the City 1, which in turn was a maybe 2008 sequel to a very popular HBO television show for the 32nd time. And this has we've probably had like a 10-day break. We've probably
It's been massive.
it's been the
so
longest
good.
break we've ever had.
Oh, it's been nice.
Because of whatever logistical reasons. And I got to say, I was expecting to come back refreshed, recharged, and ready to enjoy the film as much as humanly possible, given the circumstance.
And yet, is that what you found?
And yet, I would compare the experience to being given my freedom in the midst of a prison sentence.
Get in there, get nice and intimate with these new. I've got new microphones. Get in.
Do you want me to get even closer?
Get in there and just talk real. Give them a bit of Monty. Give them a bit of that.
What I'm
Monty
trying
magic.
to tell you, Tim, is
No,
if
but
you
speak quietly. You don't have to shout when you're that close. You just give them a bit of that old Monty magic.
but
That old Monty magic.
if you were given a prison, now it feels like we're doing this in secret.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Tim.
Yeah.
If you were sentenced to 52 years in prison
It's a lot of time. What have I done?
and you served triple homicide, you wigged out completely.
Jesus.
You're a bad guy. You're a regular Robert Durst. But you're not because you're put in prison for it. Anyway, 52 year sentence, no parole. But for whatever reason, after 31 years, they say, hey, by the way, after 31 years,
Yes.
What?
Oh,
Now-
I'm sorry. Yes.
yeah, maintain the world.
Yep.
You get a year off, go walk about,
Yeah.
enjoy your life, but you still have to come back and serve the remaining, I don't know, what's the maths on that, 21 years? You'd think, first of all, wow, that would be amazing, imagine that. But then it would dawn on you as you have to go back to prison that is an even more cruel trick. Would you not agree?
So, are there alternatives that you can just do the whole prison term in one hit,
Yeah.
or take a year off? Yeah, I think I'd probably rather just take the whole hit.
Yeah. Based on the evidence presented before you today,
Yeah.
or just for general vibe?
Both.
Oh, we're easing our way back into
Yeah,
talking.
we're
Why did
creeping
we?
back in?
Why were we even whispering in the first place?
Because we're mixing it up.
Doing
I'm
anything.
back to the whispering.
Doing anything
Didn't
we
even
can.
know.
Yeah, so I was expecting to enjoy not enjoy the movie, that's the wrong word, but at least
Enjoy it more though.
yeah,
normal.
that was super hard right the way through. I gave you some kisses. For a kiss is always a gift.
Yeah.
I genuinely was giving you like tender kisses.
Yeah.
One of those kisses, the one I gave you on your forehead,
Yes.
that is literally exactly the same kissing technique I use on my girlfriend. What did
to
it
know.
feel like?
Very warm, very tender.
Were you comfortable in that moment?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want anything more tender than what you gave me, but I think that was probably the line, and we know where that is now. We've visited it. And
I think the line is much further along than you think.
I think maybe the line is in two different points depending on if you're me looking at it or Guy Montgomery looking at it.
In that moment, Tim, such was my boredom and desire to explore the world outside of Sex and the City 2. I would have literally kissed any part of your body. And without any real thought for the ramifications that might have to either our relationships, to the outside perception of our friendship. I was operating outside the sort of the bounds of, regular thinking.
You went to a lovely place with it, which is tender kisses. In my brain, I was like, I could actually see myself running at the wall full speed head first, and just to see what would happen. Would my head break through the weatherboard, or would I just get knocked out?
Just moved into this place.
Yeah, I know.
Very reckless place for you to go to.
Don't tell the landlord, but I've already put a hole in the wall. Did you know that?
No.
When I was in the lounge, we've got an extra bed, and so I just like kind of rammed it into the corner, but I didn't realize there's like a spring thing, like a tightening mechanism that pokes out of the mattress, and I just went boom, and it just punched it.
I've been burned by those tightening mechanisms before as well.
They're a terror. Take them out of beds. When have you ever used it?
I'm always tightening up and loosening my bed.
Really?
Yeah, weekly.
Really?
Yeah, it's a regular bloody lucky dip when you're sleeping over at old Monty's house.
Crazy. Do you flip the mattress on the rig?
I do flip the mattress on the rig.
You are a psychopath. You are the only person I've ever met who flips the mattress.
I flipped my mattress last week.
How often do you flip them?
Well, do you know why? Because when I got back from
LA,
I'd been subletting my bedroom out for 2 months. I got back, this couple, like a lovely French lady moved in when I first left, but her job repositioned her, and so she wound up having to find some flatmates through Trade Me, which is Craigslist or whatever. This couple moved in. From what I can gather,
they fucked a lot.
The evidence left. I don't even know if they were having sex, but they were definitely eating a lot. They were
What
eating
the
a lot.
fuck?
There were apple cores and almonds littered, strewn across my bedroom and beneath the bed.
That is fucked up.
So your boy Gmont rolled up his sleeves and gave the place a good 1, 2, 3 scrub. And accordingly, when I was in the midst of this cleaning, I was like, you know what? You know what I'm going to do? Because I had the whole bed pulled away from the wall.
Fair enough, man. I can understand in that circumstance flipping the mattress.
Yeah, there's probably apple juice and semen runoff all over the top half of the mattress.
Which, coming this summer, Mr. Big's Jacuzzi's apple flavour now.
Yeah. He's been experimenting a lot with sort of essence of, like, flavour essences.
There's a vanilla one now. It makes your whole house smell like vanilla semen.
Like if someone had set off a vanilla stink bomb in a public changing room. That's what it smells like.
Semen doesn't smell like stink bombs, though. It's like...
No, but the vanilla, that's the vanilla part.
Okay,
The public changing room part is the semen.
Got it. Yeah. No, you're right there.
Can you imagine the unholy smell if Mr. Big was to open some sort of gymnasium or emporium of his product? Also, did you see that one of our fans has listed on Craigslist?
Oh, yeah. Mr. Big's like...
He's like, I'll find...
Office.
I'll pull it up. It's
you
very
pull it
funny.
Up. While you're doing that, I would like to talk about some things that are in the movie. The first of which, and there's no real reason for me to talk about this, but I notice it every week, and I think I've noticed it from week 1, and I've never brought it up, is Charlotte's insane face, which flashes on screen as a reaction to Miranda saying intervention. And she has got like eyes the size of saucers. Huge, and she's just whipping her head back and forward.
Her neck is essentially on a swivel.
She looks so crazy. It's the craziest anyone looks in the film, and it's just on screen briefly.
It's when Miranda lists herself as being a type A control freak. She's explaining that she's
in the wind up to the intervention. No, wait, interfunction.
It comes after the intervention. I'm turning this into French. No, yeah, I'm staging an intervention, and then Miranda, because she loves a terrible pun / portmanteau / it's not really, can't be described by any of those words which describe the English language, because it's neither. It's just a bloody...
It's a portmanteau.
It's a car crash.
In the literal sense, it's a portmanteau,
But
isn't
yeah,
it?
Charlotte's
Is it?
reaction and into function.
Fun.
No,
maybe
because it's not. Because it's not the merging of two words. She's just taken one word and slammed it in the middle. And she
She's
hasn't slammed it in the middle
Gene-spliced a word.
of an existing word. She slammed
Yeah.
it in the middle of another word that her friend is already. It's like she saw a pile up on the freeway, and instead of slowing down and driving a car around the pile up, she centered in on the middle of it. She honed in, she accelerated, she went crashing in, and accordingly, Charlotte's reaction is one of crazy-eyed terror.
What a visual representation of the linguistics.
But you
of
said
Sex
you've
and the
noticed
City
that since
too.
week one, and you've never brought it up.
Yeah. There's a few things that I don't know, I don't feel comfortable talking about yet. We're only up to 33, you know?
You don't feel comfortable talking about.
They're going to eke out over time.
Why don't you feel comfortable?
Because
Surely this
it's
is a safe
important-
place.
It's important for me to have a few secrets, okay? I've got to maintain.
No one wants
some of
that
those.
information out of you, save for me right now, obviously.
With that, you see, I don't feel safe anymore. So
Okay.
that's all of the secrets I'm going to share. Now, did you find that guy's
Yes.
Mr. Big thing?
A listing on Craigslist or Craigslist because Americans don't know how to talk. Oh, we come from a big country. This is how a human talks. No, a human talks like this.
Yeah,
They
did you hear
flatten
this?
everything.
This is the Queen's English.
This
and do you know
is-
who started English? The Queen.
That's right. The first person to speak, Queen Elizabeth II. A lot of people have rewritten the history books to suggest there was language before the 20th century. Anyway,
They're filthy lies. You can't believe any of them.
wanted business ideas, financial district. Do you have a big idea you want to share with the world? Using my capital and business savvy, we can make your big ideas a reality. Why come to Mr. Big? As a day trader on Wall Street and inventor of the famous Mr. Big's Jacuzzi trademarked, I have the business skill and creative talent to turn your idea into an accomplishment. Contact Mr. Big at, and then show contact info with the addendum, do not contact me with unsolicited services or offers.
We'll show the contact info. Let's blast it on the
Well, no,
potty.
but it's
Get
just
people to send
it's
in
just
some
a-
ideas.
It was just a screenshot.
but not to us. Oh, yeah. It's just
So I
a
can't
screenshot.
click on there's no hyperlink.
So who sent us this? Was it the guy who made it, or was it a guy who just... It'd be way
Philip-
funnier if it was a guy who stumbled on it.
Philip Rozak, who says, surprisingly, I've received multiple emails pitching business ideas for Mr. Big. Philip, if this is true, could you please fire some of those through to us?
Do us a solid, Phil.
But
we wanna
I
hear
mean,
'em.
while we're poking around the neighborhood, we might as well crack open that huge leather-bound book that our hero, Mr. Big, does keep on that keyboardless, mouseless desk of his.
Where there should be, what are we, 2010? A probably 2.4 gigahertz Core 2 Duo on that desk. Instead, there is an ancient leather-bound book gathering dust.
Known simply as Mr. Big's Big Book of Ideas. And buried within this are all sorts of crazy schemes and plans to quickly accumulate more funds so he can buy Carrie more of the things she doesn't want.
Mainly in crayon, these ideas are displayed. Mainly pictorial form.
Also a few in those fancy Faber-Castell colouring pencils.
Yeah, if he's getting real fancy.
Anyway, the header on this page. 2 words. Intergalactic Gloryhole. Tim, what does that make you think right out of the gates?
Scar band.
Okay. I was thinking of like some sort of portal that you dip your dick in.
It's a band name. I mean, if we're getting literal on it, totally. It is some sort of space-time continuum rip. It's like a tear in the fabric of reality that you would insert your genitalia into.
And you'd pull back in little aliens.
Yeah.
And you'd raise them
Oh.
as children.
Do you think that if you were to put your Johnson through a rip in reality, it would, like, aliens would be attracted to it?
No. Oh, well, maybe.
Do you know what? Maybe, like, okay, you know how we see comets and crazy, like, ball lightning and shit? Imagine if that's an alien's penis visiting us, and we're like, that is beautiful. And on their home planet, they're all, like, as ashamed of it as we are with our penises.
like a comet or an asteroid is.
I don't know, some sort of intergalactic
We don't think
phenomena that we see
Yeah.
is actually an alien penis. And we're like, oh, it's so beautiful. It looks like a sunset, or like the sky's on fire. But it's an alien's cock
I like
and
that.
or balls.
That would be funny.
But if we're taking just the term intergalactic glory hole, I'm seeing a 16-piece ska band touring from east to west coast, like constantly, fish style.
16 members.
Yeah.
What do you got in there? You got 3 saxophones, obviously.
Well, we got to name them. So you got a tenor sax, an alto sax, and a soprano sax.
We have to name the saxophones or the players.
The instruments. Well, you can name the players if you wish.
Okay. You've
Okay,
got
on tenor.
Warren Tenarius.
On alto.
Michaela Shacklebull.
On soprano sax.
Mikhail Veletov.
On piccolo.
Simone Simangi.
On the triangle.
Dontarius Mouthpiece.
On beat drums.
Warwick Fishbone.
Bongos.
Well, that's an obvious one. Barry the banjo playing bongist.
Which leads me nicely to banjo.
Well, Borry the bongo hating mole rat.
Lead guitar.
Scott Warrenton.
Rhythm guitar.
Bernard Blacksmith.
Bass guitar.
Tyrone Wishbone. Yeah, you like Tyrone, do you? Yeah, he's a real classic dude.
Tyrone Wishbone, the bass player from Mr. Big's 16-piece ska band, Intergalactic Gloryhole. Well, obviously, the 5 instruments you need left are synth.
Yep.
Who we got on synth?
Synthesizer is electric metal piece. Fucking hell, I'm running out. It's hard to come up with names, eh?
Honky tonk piano.
Ronald Keystone.
I'm actually, because I know we've only got, I think, 2 slots left. What else do you need in a ska band?
I don't know what instruments.
Oh, trumpet. Oh my god, trumpet. B flat trumpet.
Peter Sickling.
Trombone.
Des Matai, who actually, funnily enough, is my old PE teacher from intermediate school.
Is it the same guy? Or just
it's absolutely the same guy.
And
he's reinvented himself.
Rounding everything off, who's the singer of this glorious band?
Mr. Big.
Of course.
Who else?
Of course it is.
What we didn't specify is that they play exclusively Kinks covers. That's right, the Kinks are the popular British band found by the Davies brothers, I think, in the 60s. Because what we have also found in the movie, or I've found, I think you have too, is that...
I stumbled into it after you opened the door ajar for me.
Is that they've pretty much buried all of the lyrics to the Kinks song All Day and All of the Night across the film. So they've stretched out what was probably a jaunty 3-minute catchy as all hell track into a 2-hour and 30-minute
you know the song.
Bloated jam session.
It's the one that goes dun 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 all of the day,
all day
and all of the night. It's that one. And I'm pretty sure this is totally the kind of project that we should embark on, but we definitely won't because we can't be bothered. But
piecing together the lyrics across the entire film.
You could definitely cut it up and cut it to that song.
You got to question the financial merit of touring with a 16-piece ska band called Intergalactic Gloryhole, who specialise in Kinks covers. I've got to say, you're hitting a pretty big niche. 16 band members, travel expenses are through the roof.
Okay, if you look at a graph, right, X and Y, we've got a gradient in there. There's a y-intercept. What you've got to analyse is how much more audience touring revenue is going to be brought in by the fact that Mr. Big's got a 16-piece band versus if it was just like a normal quad, right? So you got to measure that across the expenses, and I think 16-piece is the perfect equilibrium for maximum profits. And he's done the crayon math on this. There's a lot of drawings in that page about like what the perfect number for the ska band is.
I just think 16's too many. Like, every band member will have to take it upon themselves to sell. How big are the arenas these guys are playing? Are they playing theatres or arenas?
Arenas, like wall to wall. Huge. I'm talking 16, 18,000 people turn out.
16 to 18,000 people.
100%.
Are turning up to see Intergalactic Gloryhole.
Yeah, 100%. Because not since like the days of Chicago and Boston and America and other bands that hubrisly named themselves after massive, awesome places have we seen a fabulous touring act that just really knocks it out of the park in an arena setting.
You think the only bands to have done this previously were bands named after geographical places?
100%, and exclusively in the 70s. No one since has really been able to do it. We know that. Well, it's how the Rolling Stones are still able to tour. No one's really topped it until now with Intergalactic Gloryhole.
I got to say, I do wish them all the best, but I think you're managing a lot of personalities. You're managing a lot of ego with a 16-piece.
Yeah.
16-piecer.
And Tyrone Fishbone has a propensity to fuck band members too.
Yeah, he's a real wild card.
He likes getting involved, like Fleetwood Mac level getting involved. He's had sex with everyone, and now it's just a complicated series of ex-relationships. Very uncool. Tyrone, rein it in.
That's right. Mr. Big also dispenses Fleetwood Mac and Cheese. He, of course, bought this at a Fleetwood Mac concert in 1967, and he's held on to it. He takes one mouthful every year on the anniversary of the gig. There's pretty much 4 mouthfuls left, and he tours it as sort of a memoriam for the band.
So he's selling it but when you say he's selling Fleetwood Mac and Cheese, he bought macaroni cheese at a Fleetwood Mac gig, and then he puts on a performance where he eats a tiny bit annually.
Yeah, and they didn't call it Fleetwood Mac and Cheese. That's what he called it.
That is genius. That's like Creedence Clearwater. What do they call themselves? Because they can't call themselves Revival.
Creedence Clearwater Survival.
Something like that.
And it's just the living members who want to play music with each other.
It's the other two who don't have Fogerty's rights, like for those songs or whatever. Something. I can't remember how it goes. You do
They
the
dress
math.
up like Foghorn Leghorn. We are deep in a rabbit hole of confusion right now.
A lot of music going on, a lot of jazz, a lot of squid up, you know? A lot of squid up. A lot of squid up, ba 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 ba. Squid up, ba 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 ba.
Kiss is always a
Squid up, ba 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 ba.
A kiss is always a gift.
A kiss is always a gift. What's he doing? Where's he up to? Is that Rocco Things playing? It was, by the way.
I'm really glad you got that.
Yeah, me too. I've missed a couple Nickelodeon themes in the past that you've chucked out
I'll be
there.
damned if you burn me again.
I'm glad I got this property.
I'm going to start moving outside the realm of Nick one day. Nick, Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon. So, the question, as always, what is that crazy Java-addicted fool doing with his time? Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to tell you that guy has started an inner-city school program where he's training kids how to be baristas. That's right. He was in the cafe and he was like, I can't get enough of this high-quality espresso coffee.
He calls it espresso specifically to antagonize the assholes who walk around creating everyone it's espresso. Let people call it what they want, all right? It's just coffee. It has no impact on your life, you pedantic motherfuckers.
You just skipped 3 beats and like mocked yourself without taking the first step. Because I know you wanted to correct me on saying espresso, but then you like railed on yourself preemptively. I love it.
None of that was to do with me. It was
Many
all to
steps ahead
do
of
with
the game.
other people.
Listen, Coffee Guy's an educator at its heart. He's an addict. There's no doubt about that. But he's also primarily a man who wants to teach the world to love. And the way that you do that is teaching kids how to make a damn fine cup of joe. So here's how it works. Similar to the college draft system with the football, you have to maintain a certain grade point average to get accepted into the special scholarship program, where Coffee Guy himself will grace you with his presence on a daily basis and teach you how to make the perfect cup of coffee. We are talking where do the best beans come from, how to prepare them, making sure that the entire supply chain is pristine and clean, keeping those things in the best condition possible. But then we get down to the milk. What songs do you sing a cow to get the best kind of milk out of it? Those songs are jazz songs, and you will only find that out if you go to Coffee Guy's exclusive School of the Arts and Espresso.
He teaches the kids how to manipulate their vocal cords to perfectly recreate the alto saxophone played by Stan Getz on the smash jazz album Getz Gilberto. All right? He's got these kids soothing cows every which way across the Midwest to the tones of Corcovado, the girl from Ipanema. I don't know. I didn't go to the school. I was doing my best.
I did not know you could do that. Did you know you could do that until right now?
I've never done whatever it was before.
So really, that's what's happening with that.
I'm fully into it. I think good on the guy for using some of that demon-born energy to try and create something positive for once. Obviously, he's going to spread more love in the world. First of all, you got kids, from all kinds of different backgrounds who suddenly, kids love responsibility. They love purpose. Secondly, you got all manner of parents or just grown adults walking around suddenly feeling much better about the coffee they're buying. It's okay to pay $4 for a flat white when it comes from a smiling 5-year-old with scalding hot burns all over their hands, because guess what? You shouldn't get kids to make coffee.
But if you are going to, they should go to Coffee Guys School of the Arts and Espresso.
And if you don't know, now you know.
My shining light this week is pretty specific, but there's a lot of music in this here ep of the potty. But it's a little piano roll that happens as Carrie is grappling with the fact that she is just pashed Aiden right on the mouth, and for some reason that eclipses everyone else's problems, including possible extradition or jail time for Samantha.
I could not count on the fingers and toes I have the number of times I wanted to tell Carrie to stop talking about herself in this film, which means it was at least 21.
Can you only count to 21?
Well, I said on my fingers and toes.
Oh, right. Wait, how many? Have you got a spare one?
No.
You mean 20? Like up to 20?
I said I couldn't count on them,
right?
Which means that there's more than 20.
Oh, okay.
So there's at least 21.
All right.
I've got, just so everyone's on the same page.
We're all here now.
I've got the normal amount of fingers and toes.
Very good.
Not that it's not normal to have that amount. I just have 20.
That piece of piano music is coupled with a lovely shot of Carrie walking midnight in the hotel towards the balcony.
Yeah.
Flowing dress, blowing in the wind gently.
It was the music tonally sort of, it did really do it. It does, as we've said before, the music does a lot of the heavy lifting in this film.
I would say almost all of it. All of the emotional impact of this film, and there isn't heaps or much at all, but whatever there is because of soundtracking.
Which is crazy to imagine the experience on set where they don't have the benefit of the music to set the tone. So everything would have just felt so flat and like wide.
Yeah, and just you would question everything. You'd be like, this doesn't feel like it's anything. It'd be terrifying. It'd be such a risky situation to be in.
Anyhow.
But no, it wouldn't actually. If this was an original property, you'd feel like that. But you'd be like, you know what? We've got 10 years of back catalogue or whatever, 15.
10 years of goodwill to piss on here.
Yeah. It's a lot of goodwill.
My shining light was triggered at a very similar moment, and it's very of the time. I thoroughly enjoyed it. When Mr. Big's phone is ringing all the way from Abu Dhabi as Carrie is about to confess to her sins, it flashes upon the BlackBerry screen, Carrie Sell. It just dates the movie so much. Like, I have no one in my phone right now is listed next to the word cell. The assumption is, the assumption is that it is a cell phone. And secondly, there's no need to differentiate between what number it's coming from or who you're calling.
I think cell phones back in the day, from memory, they weren't that good at,
storing two numbers under one contact.
Exactly. So you'd have to have two different contacts. Although he's on a BlackBerry, I feel like we had gotten there by that stage. You know?
Yeah.
You're right. It's very odd. And it's also odd that that's your shining light, because I feel like it's a bit of a negative. I feel like you're negging. You're finding something you don't like to say that you do like it.
I did enjoy it.
You liked it.
Then you come over here, policing my shining light, shining your police torch on my moment.
Don't you get so prissy when I'm kicking the tires on your shining light? I'm testing it out. I'm walking around that thing. I'm poking it. I'm turning the window wipers on. I'm seeing if the indicators are going.
Forget about me. Just quickly, there's one other thing I'd like to open up, Tim, that you brought to my attention, which is a moment. I really like these moments that, in which there's a certain moment in the film which qualifies a crazy sort of logic. And in the film this week, it was when the girls they're going for lunch, and they're going camels, then lunch. And Carrie bemoans this because nothing in her life is good enough. And she says, I'm not really dressed for camels. And Miranda says, I bought a whole outfit change or whatever. And don't worry. Abdul picked them out. And you pointed out to me.
Whereupon we see the girls, like after they put on these outfits, and they are hideous, outrageous.
I would say goofy. They are the goofy in a film loaded with goofy outfits across the board. This is quite comfortably the goofiest they look.
I get like being fashion forward and avant-garde and shit, but this is just wet.
But it always means it's gonna, it always means it's gonna look silly.
Yeah,
with hindsight.
But so we've got Samantha as an Egyptian pharaoh. I think we've been through this before. Miranda rather looks like some psychedelic cowboy.
Yeah.
Carrie's got nipple tassels. Some sort of deranged strip who's wound up in the desert, and Charlotte is rocking kind of like the psychedelic cowboys sidekick.
Sort of who was always with Quick Draw McGraw?
Oh, I can't remember.
Quick Draw McGraw's sidekick kind of outfit.
Yeah. So what that means though is that
Abdul's pick out the outfits.
Fucking with them. Abdul is going, I wonder if they'll put these on. I'll bet they will, these stupid American scumbags. And then he's just watching them parade around like a bunch of fucking muppets in the desert.
He's been given the company credit card and he's seeing just what he can get away with.
It's so good too because it'll get back to him, right? And the hotel staff will be like, Abdul, what are you doing? This is not on. And he'll be like, hey, listen, I'm not a fashion guy. I'm a manservant.
I was told to do this. I was way out of my pay grade.
Yeah, this was out of my league, out of my depth. Like someone threw a credit card at me, and I went for it. Look, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, of course he knows what he's doing.
Absolutely knows what he's up to. He is exacting his revenge on these fucking horrible women who have just descended onto him. It's so good. It's the best kind of revenge because it's like the perfect crime. He'll never get caught.
And accordingly, Abdul is a beacon of hope as we look to move forward with this stupid goddamn project.
Abdul, you remember, is the man who also, I had a theory for a while, was an assassin because when Dickbot arrives on the scene, he's sharpening a knife.
Butter knife. He's polishing a butter knife.
And it's like, I think what they're trying to insinuate with the film is like a penis reference, right? It's supposed to be innuendo for like,
because they cast gay aspersions upon.
Exactly, on Abdul. Well, they don't cast gay aspersions.
They do.
Samantha says, I think my butler's gay. It's not like a...
What is an aspersion?
I think it's like when you insinuate something. It's like when you don't come out wholeheartedly and say
to cast an aspersion sounds like a spell.
No, actually, yeah, you're right. Because when you cast I think it's just when you say something negative about people. If you
you can't cast a gay aspersion because the context is it's not negative, it's just speculative.
It sort of is in this film though, which is weird because they kind of try to champion the gay cause and get so caught up in being so rainbow flag waving that it's like, all right, this is like
they cross over the
weird
threshold,
and it's like, we're all good here. You guys need to stop screaming gay wedding every 6 seconds. It's coming across really the opposite of, I think, what you intended. Not cool.
Anyhow, on that note, I think it's a fantastic time for us to put a pin in the Enterprise this week.
I think you might be right.
We've got lives to lead, as I'm sure do you. Thank you very much for listening. If you've enjoyed it, we don't often ask for this. Please rate and review the podcast on iTunes or Stitcher, whatever the platform you listen to it on. It is a huge help to us.
Yeah, and do yourself a favor, make it a haiku review if you do review us. That's 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables.
Also, it would be a joy if we could get the Intergalactic Gloryhole hashtag popping off this week. Tell us any band members
so
you think we might have missed out on.
And it's so long.
I think it is a hell of a hashtag.
What was it? Tyrone Fishbone, right? He's our bass player?
That is correct.
God damn it. I've got a picture of what he looks like in my head. I had it immediately when you started talking about him, and he looks a lot like Lenny Kravitz. Just so you know.
Right. Otherwise, this is Guy Montgomery telling you to eat more oranges.
It's the worst idea of all time. It's the worst idea of all time. It's the worst idea of all time.